Zlurpcast!
Hello. What are we into? Are we into weird shit, Biran? We used to call him Biran Hentai Thompson back in the day.
Yep.
We
Tentacles everywhere.
got Xtreme in the Zlurpcast shirt. Mike's down there and looks like a dreadball shirt.
No, it's up, down, down.
Okay. I figured it was wrestling, but the top of it looked like Mantic Sci-Fi.
Well, if it was Dreadball, it'd just be a plain green tee. So
Yeah, with the logo on the back.
Fact. So we're going to talk about things we are into right now. A bit of a filler episode, but if you like us, if this is a personality-driven show, like many think it is, well, then you're here for the ride. We thank you. So what we're into doesn't have to be games, though. It's anything, right?
Yep. Anything
What
goes.
up? Biran, do you want to kick it off? Because you're into the most weird stuff.
Yeah. So a lot of you may know we're into action figures, especially me, who's into the expensive bespoke.
Right. I buy hobo action figures. Now, I open them, I play with them, but, I'm going quantity over quality.
You don't need to put your action figures on layaway.
No, I mean, $20 a pop.
Right.
I can handle that. Now, many years ago, that was a rough one, but 20 years, I can handle $20. Biran, you have a guy in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's I have action figures that cost like a car payment, like a car note, roughly. So mainly, as you can see in the background, well, it's kind of blurry, but those are my Marvel from this series of Hot Toys.
Mm-hmm.
But I allowed myself to get into Star Wars a little bit, just the Mandalorian, not any of the other shit, because that's all dead to me.
Yeah.
So a while ago, I got
There you go.
the Mandalorian,
Mandalorian.
right?
Yep.
So cloth goods, hard armor plates, everything like that. But,
Not Beskar armor yet.
Nope. Although he is available.
Yeah.
Well, just today on presses, I got my second Mandalorian figure.
Oh, IG-88.
IG-11.
IG-11.
Oh, 11.
Yeah, that's the baby droid.
Yeah, the nurse. This one.
Whoa. Man, this is like a reenactment of the movie Short Circuit right now.
Yeah, he I heard him like a year and a half ago, and he finally arrived today.
Wow. Is he anatomically correct?
Yes, he has no gender.
Okay.
Just like Taika Waititi.
I thought he had like a soup can dick.
He does come with a thermal detonator in his chest that lights up if you put the batteries in, but I'm not going to because batteries tend to rot out and then ruin your very expensive action figure.
Well, it's also functional too, so you got to be careful.
But yeah, so I'm slowly expanding my Mandalorian collection. The next one I have on pre-order is the Shore Trooper.
Okay.
And I am looking forward to also the tank driver, only if they come with a Bill Burr head on it.
Yeah, like does it come with ramps?
Yeah.
As well, Did they?
He's like his legs are die cast, so it has a good low.
Oh, it's not plastic?
No, he's plastic on top, but the legs are die cast.
Well, that's cool.
Why?
So he's easier to stand up without
assistance. Okay.
Yeah.
Mike,
now,
Mike, don't ask. We're gonna have an episode one day talking about things we're not into, because there's a lot of things that three of us are into, but one is not. Mike scoffs at all action figures and the people who love them. And so, Biran, you don't even have to answer that. If he does that again, don't even respond.
Well, I was just curious because the paint's going to look different on plastic and metal.
They did a good job with it. It matches fairly well. It's very well weathered. Obviously, on the 720p camera, you can't see, but it's got some stippling on it.
Is IG-11 supposed to have a different, like he's been pieced together differently?
I have never seen a good comparison between 88 and 11, but they are releasing a Baby Grogu with a sling, so I might get that and put the Baby Grogu in here.
Oh, that'd be cool. I have my I mean, obviously not your level, but I have my Black Series Grogu. I have Luke handing him over to Moff Gideon in my alternate reality.
Here you go.
Yeah,
I have the same one. That Black Series Grogu is pretty solid for that little itty bitty thing. He's currently being held in Red Hulk's hand on my display.
Oh, that's nice. We know it's Disney, right? So it's okay.
Yeah, it's all.
There's Kevin Feige or Feige.
Yep.
He's working on a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I think basically what happened is they still pretend that Rian Johnson's doing his own trilogy, but they knew that he basically flushed the entire Star Wars series down the toilet, and they're just pretending that they're still going to have him make a movie, but they're really going to give it to Feige.
Well, what's it supposed to be? You know?
I don't know. Unannounced. Like, what was the other thing that came up? Patty Jenkins. They're like, oh, she's going to do this great Rogue Squadron movie, but after seeing Wonder Woman, I bet you they're like, I'm glad we didn't really.
He did both Wonder Womans, right?
Yeah, the first one was meddled by corporate, which explains why it's better. The second one is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Yeah. So they took it.
She had full control over it. So immediately after it got panned by fans and critics, they said, "Oh no, she's going to do another Wonder Woman movie. We're not going to give you a date when it's going to start."
It's pretty weird, like if you're working for Disney on one of these big properties, like to know that your future is in the internet's hands. You know what I mean? Like the Game of Thrones guys, they got
they're gone. Yep.
Star Wars taken. I mean, it's pretty wild that, like, I know it could be said for anything right now. I know, theoretically, but working for Disney, one would think like the ultimate gig, but knowing you can be gone instantly.
Well, look at how many Star Wars directors got fired,
Right. It's
whereas
weird.
Marvel's much more solid. But I get it. The way I think it works, I think Marvel's run much better, tighter ship than Star Wars.
I agree.
Basically, I think the bulk of all the Marvel movies are made by the second team director and production staff. Like they have their style, and then the main director does some of the scenes, but all the important action scenes are done by this other side group that does all of them.
Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
Would you say though he's the architect of the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Yep.
So Star Wars doesn't have that.
Well, they do. She just sucks.
But I mean, they don't have one person. I mean, they're getting there with maybe Dave Filoni.
No, they did. It was Kathleen Kennedy.
Right, but not talking about her.
You mean someone good?
Right,
Yeah.
somebody that you want to see their work. That's so Star Wars needs that, which Filoni and Favreau ideally.
I think Favreau is the likely successor.
But yeah. So on to your toys. So when you're looking at the Mandalorian series, do you have to wait? Is it one at a time for those?
Typically they'll announce a figure and it'll be about a year at least before it comes out. So he just got released in the US this week.
Okay.
And that was from season 1 of The Mandalorian. So everything is significantly delayed. They did this, they're doing it a little bit on purpose because they started doing a lot of their action figures based on pre-production stills. And then they would change it in the final movie and this figure wouldn't sell it. So now they're waiting for the final movie to come out before they start working.
So anything from season 2 is not on the.
They are just in pre-production now. You can pre-order the stuff. Like they have Moff Gideon, they have the AT tank driver. The Stormtroopers are re-released because they had them from Rogue One.
Is there a chubby Boba Fett?
Yes. They have a deluxe Boba Fett that's both the chubby Boba Fett in just the rags he wore and with the armor.
Is the deluxe because he put on pounds, or is that?
It's deluxe because it's 2 figures, basically.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And he's fat. But they have a standard fat suit that they glom onto their standard skeletons. These are the bigger guys.
Glom. Is there a Cara Dune?
No.
Oh.
I mean, because, there might well have been. But you saw what Disney did with the Hasbro stuff. They yanked it.
But you're saying because of the production time, they were able to.
They never announced it, so who knows if they ever had concept done? But I'd get it for sure.
Yeah. Would you pay $1,000 for it?
No.
What's your max?
Well, the most I spent is about $550. I haven't gotten him yet. That's for Iron Patriot. See, so it's the one from the end of Endgame.
How much was
the armor?
Was your Iron Man expensive?
He was $420.
Okay.
Ish.
Yeah.
But do you save the boxes so you can put them back in the boxes?
I do, because the boxes are actually really cool displays. So I do save these boxes, but crazy people save these and the shipper exterior cardboard box as well. Because people do it and they flip them and make money.
You know what's, when you first said that, it reminded me of way back in the day. I had a friend, Mike knows of him, he calls him Peter North, but this guy Scott from back in the day, he's the one that would look at a nude picture of the Pink Power Ranger to psych himself up to score a touchdown in Blood Bowl.
Oh, nice. So there's all the boxes I have.
Okay. This guy, he'd say, hey, you want to play Nintendo 64? Sure, come over, let's play. I thought, okay, I bet he's going to have it in the box still, which he did. That was merely the beginning. He had it. So, go through the steps. It's probably going to be reverse because it's better reverse so you get the full aspect. Nintendo 64. So let's pretend he's putting it away right now. Nintendo 64, back in the styrofoam. Okay. Then the controllers. What do we do when we wrap up controllers?
Wrap it around the controller.
Right, which we all know that's terrible. He will do like the figure eight kind of thing, and have them,
twist ties.
Perfect. Yes, twist ties. Original twist ties. Then those things came in plastic bags, right?
Yeah.
So around the controller and the unit, then into the styrofoam. Styrofoam then goes into the main box. Should that be the end of it? Probably. Was it? Oh, it wasn't. He had the cellophane that was on the box. He used an X-Acto knife to cut the not the long ways, but the other, so you can slide it back on like a condom, and then the flap goes over. It's not over. You would think that has to be the end of the story. The original bag of where it was purchased at, it will be then be put into.
With the receipt still, probably?
Probably. I didn't look for that. But then that whole bag, which looks fucking terrible on your shelf, because it's a bag.
It's like a bag from Best Buy or Target.
Actually, it was a bag from Cyberdyne on Gulf Road, I'm guessing. What was that place called? Not Cyberdyne. They had import games. You know what I'm talking about, Biran?
Yeah, I'd say they were independently owned.
Yeah. Like a bag from that place. Or probably if it was from there, it was probably actually a brown paper bag.
Yeah.
Like a Jules bag. Rolled up at the top, put on the shelf. So I know how extreme, so to speak, it can get when putting things away in its original form. The question is, how far will you go with your Hot Toys?
No, I leave them out in display at all times.
At all times?
Yeah.
You're not, I assume so, but you're not like, we're recording this at, 5:30 your time. You're not at 5:27
setting it up for the show,
cracking everything open for the shots.
The Mandalorian stuff I have an IKEA Detolf case.
So what we see in your room right now, like, I don't want to put you on the spot, but you walk the walk as well as talk. Like this isn't for the show.
No,
like that stuff's.
It's not a bunch of like shelves full of random bullshit knickknacks that I don't even know anything about, like typical YouTube people. A Kallax wall with Funko Pops in it.
Well, at first I thought it was a green screen. Like you have another room you set up at one point, took a picture, and then now you're in the green screen, and that's the picture. So very nice. So you talk the talk. What's the next one on the agenda?
The next one coming, I believe, is the Endgame Captain America.
Oh, okay.
Mjolnir and the shield / and a broken shield.
Oh, nice. Did you get the 1940s one? One? Or, okay. There was one for that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I have the Marvel Legends version.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that? I don't speak poor.
Don't worry, Xtreme. I speak poor. I don't have that one yet because I have my one character rule.
Yeah, there's like 6 or 7 different Captain Americas from Hot Toys.
The one, yeah.
But there's like 25 different Iron Man from them.
I can see that.
Because they did the Iron Man 3, the party protocol.
And then if you combine all the ones like Iron Man suit-esque ones, then you can do an entire army of sorts. Army building, if you will, of Warmonger and everybody, right?
They never came out with Warmonger. They should.
Ironmonger, rather.
Yeah, they never did come out with him.
I think, yeah, that stuff's great because those, I mean, do those come apart? Like, could you like de-build him of sorts, the Iron Man one, or no?
No, they did. They remember the Mark V? That was the one that was in the briefcase in
Yeah.
Iron Man 2. They have a suit up version of that where you actually have bits and pieces of it starting to install on him.
Okay.
But
Maybe
none
that-
of it's fully removable because the engineering is too hard.
Okay. Maybe I saw that one in the catalog. Pretty cool. But is that, are Hot Toys focusing on the MCU only?
They have MCU, which is, they call it the movie masterpiece editions. They have television editions, which is Mandalorian. They have
Okay.
video game editions. I have a Spider-Man from the PS4 Spider-Man.
Okay.
So they have and they have comic accurate ones, like they're releasing from Into the Spider-Verse ones, which look more anime like.
Yeah. I saw your Peter Parker from that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're not doing traditional comic art at all.
They have not. Other companies do, like some of the other ones that are like a step down in quality from them do that.
I think it's smart because knowing the market for these in a higher end, I think you're going to get, dare I say, and I don't mean any offense, Biran, you're going to get some bald fucks saying, my kids love these fucking movies.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to buy 3 of them. They're 400 pieces. I don't even care.
There are people that go, oh, the new Stormtroopers out. It's only $285 each. I better buy 10. I'm army building.
Money's no fucking object. I'm a bald fuck, you know?
Well, and they just released pictures of the pre-release of the Bad Batch Hot Toys figures.
Oh, sweet.
And they look pretty rad.
Yeah, they're cool. I actually canceled my Black Series pre-order for those. No, I just was like, I just don't need those. Even though I did see the first episode, I liked it so far. I haven't watched any more yet. I think they're on 5.
They're doing Clone Wars version of Anakin and Kenobi, as well as movie versions of Anakin and Kenobi. So they're doing Clone Wars versions of stuff too.
Which Clone Wars version are they? Because there's the
General Anakin and General Kenobi, like with the armor, with the stormtrooper armor on.
The series has the armor plate torso over the robes.
Yeah.
But in the old Clone Wars, I don't remember what it's called. I guess it's called the first Clone Wars series. Then they actually had full armor with like a robe on top.
I think they're doing both. They're doing, because those are always super popular. Anything with Anakin or Obi-Wan.
Those are done in the style of the Clerks cartoon. Remember those?
I don't follow anything Kevin Smith related anymore.
Well, that was I don't know. There's probably
I know what you're saying.
A real name for that style. I don't know what it's called, but Xtreme. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about. I don't know what the name is because those were the really short episodes too, weren't they?
The real short ones. Yeah. I didn't really like it that much.
I think these are the more modern ones, so they have a little more detail. They're not as like stylized as those. Right. I call that the Samurai Jack style of animation.
Yeah, that's a good one. A good approach.
They look hella rad. They're like they have Anakin from the movie, and then they have what's clearly a Clone Wars Anakin because he looks more like the Clone Wars one.
Clone Wars Anakin is 10 times more badass anyway. Just everything. But
they're also doing Ahsoka from Clone Wars and Ahsoka from The Mandalorian. So two different figures.
Very nice. Good stuff. Look at you getting back into the Star Wars game.
Just Mandalorian.
Okay, that's fine. You can make whatever caveats you want to make yourself feel better.
Well, and the only things I was really interested in were some stormtroopers, and they've appeared in The Mandalorian, so it's a loophole to get stormtroopers.
Well, I mean, they're dirty stormtroopers, though, right?
Yes.
At that point, no one's. It's weird how things don't get maintained. Like, why is that? We don't have showers. We don't have a car wash you can walk through. Just a thought. Very cool. So, your hot toy collection is what you're focusing on.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Anything else you want to cover?
Nope.
Okay. Xtreme, you want to go next?
Sure.
Okay.
I have a few different things kind of all over the place. I've been watching Peaky Blinders.
Okay.
My son recommended this to me a couple years ago, and I had it on my list. I never got around to it. And now I've burned through like the first 2 seasons already. It's awesome. I love it.
I don't know what it's about. What is it?
It's it takes place in England, and like after.
Hey, we already made a British face.
Do you have to turn subtitles on?
No, you can understand them pretty well. The Tom Hardy's in it.
I like him.
Yeah, we all do.
No, we don't.
Oh, Mike's always the contrarian on that.
Yeah, that guy sucks balls, man.
Well, yeah, but what else does he do?
Yeah, hey, Mike, you wish.
Yeah.
And then you woke up,
He does have bad teeth, though, like a proper Brit.
of course. And he's got mush mouth, too.
Yeah.
So Xtreme takes place in England. Is that the whole story?
Sure.
Time period? What time period?
Story. Time period after World War One.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nudity, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's 1920s nudity.
So super bushy.
Yeah.
They do that also on purpose for ratings because you can't show the labia.
Yeah, I mean, outer and inner you can't show.
You can't show the labia. You can, but you're going to get a unrated or NC-17.
Yeah.
So you want the bush
To
just
cover
so you can
the
show-
lips.
No lips.
So
I'll be honest. I watched like the first 2 or 3 episodes of that, and I don't remember it being after post World War II. I thought it was like late 1800s.
World War One.
Or World War One. Sorry, World War One. Wow.
Because
All right.
a lot of the guys talk about their time in France and how they came back. And
Okay.
there's-
I mean,
Yeah,
I know
it didn't stick with me, so
I know you lived through it, so you may not remember it, Mike.
yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So that's one of the things I've been doing. The other is I've been reading Uncle Scrooge.
Hey, real quick, why do you get 2?
we should save this to make more bullshit episodes.
I have 3 though.
Oh my God. Well, you know what? You said Peaky Blinders takes place in England, World War One, and that was it. So go ahead and take your second one. We got the timer running now.
I'm reading Uncle Scrooge.
Okay.
It's good stuff. It's
He's a
the
nice guy. If I remember, he's like a nice guy, right?
sure. I mean,
Is that an omnibus or is that just the regular collected edition?
This is the library edition. This is the Don Rosa books. Because if
Don
you
Roach
collect
books.
Rosa,
Oh.
Rosa, I don't know, but there's several volumes of just his work, and then he's like the second generation of the good stuff for Uncle Scrooge. But yeah, super awesome. So I've been reading that, and I found Blankets at Half Price Books, which I had heard some really good things. I haven't started reading it yet, but I'm excited.
It looks like
to
it's
do
for women.
that. Yeah, it's something that you would not like, I'm sure. It's
You know,
definitely.
I want to know why Biran could read books written by like openly gay men, comics, and he brags about what he's getting, and there's no judgment. And then the moment you open something or show something that might be a bit effeminate, he's all over you.
Because I'm a hypocrite.
Yeah, you are.
It is supposed to be like a very good love story, so we'll see.
So I find it interesting that a card-carrying comrade party member of the Communist Party would be reading Uncle Scrooge, a capitalist hero, if you will.
I mean, maybe I see him as the villain of the story. And
Yeah.
I had a similar stance with The Devil Wears Prada, that movie,
Uh-huh.
which is also for women, but I love it, where I believe that she should do everything she can to help out the evil fashion lady.
I never saw it. Is that a spoiler?
Yeah.
Okay. Did the devil wear Prada, or I don't even want to know.
I think she wore Fendi more often than Prada in the movie, but I can't be sure.
Oh, it's a she. I didn't know that devil was a she. Xtreme, what's the size of that book, by the way?
Blankets
Yeah.
is pretty big. It's like dictionary size.
I see Biran buying that and putting a gun in there
Yeah.
and putting it on the shelf.
No, my gun's out in the open. I don't have any kids to hide it.
No, that's one of them. That's not the gun. That's a gun. That's the one just, when they come and take him away, they didn't know about the blankets one,
No, I lost them all in a boating accident.
There you go. Do you have ones that are registered and ones that are not?
None of mine are registered. We don't do that.
Oh, well, you're on like a show right now, so I just thought you might want to go on the record.
Yes, I have one single shot 22 hunting rifle.
Do you have one that's like the plant? You know what I mean?
It's the one that like, okay, you can have my guns and give them the shitty one.
I was thinking somebody breaks in and you kill him, he wasn't armed, and that's the one you put by him.
Depending on what state you're in, you can get away with that. I don't think Illinois is one of those.
Oh,
You're obligated to flee.
That's too bad. So Xtreme, you're trying to get back into like real reading, huh?
Yeah. So I wanted to branch out from something other than GI Joe. So I was I tried the Alan Moore Swamp Things, but that didn't really stick, and I was surprised because I always like Alan Moore stuff. But
the new mini series is really good so far. You might want to give it a try.
He's crazy now, right?
Oh yeah, he's crazy.
Okay, just check.
I'll be honest with you. Everyone like sings the praises of the Alan Moore Swamp Things. They're not that good.
yeah, I was expecting to love it, and I really wasn't too.
He has
crazy.
much better stuff.
When the current yes, like he can kind of do whatever, and people are going to dig his stuff.
Well, we were chatting about that Rorschach comic and how Alan Moore didn't understand. He doesn't understand why people like Rorschach and think of him as the best hero of Watchmen. Because he's so crazy, he doesn't understand why everyone likes that character the most.
As a crazy person, he should understand it, though.
Yeah.
You would
But
think.
when the current it's a 10-episode mini run of Swamp Thing comes out on trade, you should pick that up. I really like it.
Okay.
Cool. There's a really cool light shining on Xtreme right now. It looks like
God rays.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like it's not quite like an angel looking upon him or anything, but it
looks like he should hold up a staff and it would show you where the Ark of the Covenant is.
It actually looks like there's a little hole in the box that we're all in that got cracked open, and that's like, oh my God, like he can breathe now, like instead of suffocating. Like now.
Or is that the hole you put your dick through? So
maybe here's it. It looks real fucking thin, so I don't know.
Long and thin, slides right in.
Yeah.
Is that a real nursery?
Short and thick, now that's a dick.
Is that a nursery rhyme? What is that?
It's a chapter in blankets.
Oh shit. Gross. All right, Xtreme, anything else? You have a fourth, or is that are you tapping out?
I finally got someone to schedule some tattoo time with me, so that's exciting. I've only been trying for like 2 years.
And what is your design?
Just getting my arm and chest filled in. So it's not super exciting stuff, so that was a problem. And then finding someone that actually does Polynesian work is a problem. So it's taking me like 2 years to finally get this done. So I'm going to Vegas in September to get a tattoo.
Nice. Is this like a 40-year-old present to yourself?
No, it's, I don't know.
Did you ever get your money back from the guy you booked time with?
No, I'm hoping to get all this done and then approach him with a simpler design and be like, hey, can we just knock this out?
Does he do hate speech or no?
I don't.
They all have their price where they will.
Right. I was going to say, everyone's got a price. We learned that one.
I think anyone you ask is going to say no until you start talking about price. And
yeah. I have 2 appointments coming up this summer.
Oh. Are you going to finally get your dick done or no?
No one's got a needle small enough.
I'm going to say that'd be a very small national park.
Yeah.
That's good. The balls are where it's at, though, Xtreme. Just to let you know. That's where
you can spread it out a little bit while they tattoo it.
Well, the beauty of it,
when it comes back in.
You know, Biran could get in his younger days, ask for a canyon, and eventually becomes the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
You know, that's just science. Am I right, Mike?
Oh yeah.
Hey Brian, is that Blankets? Is that a graphic novel or a novel?
Graphic novel.
Okay.
I think it's all black and
white. I thought it was a novel.
No.
Okay.
That's
so,
pictures.
I mean, having a thick book on the shelf, it's still pictures.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure you're not, your limitations with who you're trying to impress there.
You still need pictures, is what you're saying.
Yeah, sure.
I like when you get a book, usually it'd be like a autobiography or something, but like you look at the side and you're like, oh, because the middle part's gonna be filled with photos. I'm like, sweet. There's like, it's gonna be long, but it's like, oh, there's gonna be a nice glossy section halfway through. That'll be fun.
Do you look at the photos before, or do you save them until you get to that point?
Great question. I do a quick flip, and then I close it because I don't want to look at them. I don't know why. I do a quick flip through, but almost like enough to see a quick out of context glance. But then I wait until
I save them as like my midway prize.
As your treat?
Yeah.
It's like when you have the TV dinner, there's that little apple cobbler in the corner and you hold off on eating it.
Or it's the brownie you cut out, but then half ends up in the mashed potatoes anyway. So,
yep.
Yeah. So cool. Good stuff. It sounds like you got a lot of positive, fun things on the horizon, Xtreme. Good for you.
Yeah, no games, but plenty of other stuff.
Well, you don't like games, so it's okay.
Who gives a fuck? Hey, it doesn't matter. You're having fun. reading stuff is a game you could win.
Reading is fundamental.
Mike, do you want to go?
Sure.
Okay.
Normally I'm reading a lot of stuff, but since I'm no longer traveling for work, I don't read much anymore, and that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So I read at night, and that means I fall asleep in 3 minutes. And
That's my problem. It's 2 pages, and I'm done.
yeah,
Not
Shooter
good.
reading for me.
so what I did, well, 2 things. One, I got more of this, which is good shit. This is that
marijuana?
yes. No, this is that licorice with the
That tastes like
ammonia in the
cannabis?
middle.
It looks like THC licorice.
What?
Is it like THC licorice?
No, it's got ammonia in it.
Oh, it's the
That stuff the
cannabis
Swedes
stuff.
brought over.
Yeah.
Wow.
So still getting that. Also, I for my birthday, I got myself a subscription to Shudder, and because I like cheesy horror movies, and I've been watching shitty horror movies.
Nice.
And I talked to Ryan a lot about them because he likes, shitty horror movies too. So
Mike, have you seen Student Bodies? Look that one up.
yeah, I've heard of it.
That was when I was growing up. Like Dean and I would
Yeah.
watch them. It's they have a kill count on the screen. The main bad guy is called the Breather.
Oh yeah. I think I've seen parts of that way back when, but
So does Shudder have like almost everything?
no, you'd think they would, but if it's mainstream, most likely they won't have it.
Does that cost too much money?
That costs too much money.
Okay.
So, what's that movie? Any of them, you name it. Like It Follows and
Ones that people-
Insidious.
Yeah.
A lot of
People know
those.
about them, it's probably not going to be on there.
Yeah, Descent, things like that. They're not going to be on there. You got to look for those. But
But if you want
They got
the
a lot of
weird shit, there's
horror
plenty of
movies.
weird
What?
shit on there though.
oh, there's a lot of weird shit. And I have discovered that I really like Indonesian horror movies. And
Aren't they super gory and exploitive?
they're super gory, and because Indonesia is like half Muslim, half island pagan, there's this really weird Satan's themed demons and whatnot, and they're just weird.
So I
But
think that Ryan must like that too, then, as you described it.
but there's no nudity. It's just blood, lots and lots of blood.
In many cultures, that's more
yeah.
offensive.
Yeah, but those have been the best ones I've seen. Like the Korean ones and the Japanese, the Korean ones especially, or the Chinese and the Korean ones, way too long. I agree with Ryan on that, because Ryan's got a
90-minute
hour,
cutoff.
15 minutes. That's his cutoff, So I saw this one that he told me about, and I forgot. And he's talking about what's that called? An exposition dump at the end. And I was watching it. All of a sudden, this guy just randomly starts explaining everything that happened, and I'm like, I don't need this. I don't care why.
I'm not even familiar. Is that a normal thing?
Yeah. He spent like 10 minutes explaining why this curse exists. I'm like, I don't care. Just cut her head off, And,
Is it like you should have explained that in the movie?
or either have it be just we don't care. We're watching this for certain things. Plot is really not one of them. A tight plot, we don't care.
Show don't
So,
tell.
Yeah, we don't need it.
It's a cool thing to have in other movies, maybe.
Oh yeah.
I like to
Yeah.
know the rules of the horror universe I'm in.
Yeah, I agree. Like how things can be killed. Basically, the things that guy from our previous would know about. Like he knows the rules of the lore. You should know the rules of who can do what.
Yeah. But so that's kind of what I've been doing.
Do you like would you say the gorier the better for you, or no?
It doesn't bother me. So yeah, I do kind of dig it. Also, Xtreme kind of got me into this too. I've been watching like all the serial killer. There's a lot of serial killer documentaries out, and so like the Gacy one, the Son of Sam one, all of that. So,
Right.
I mean, the Gacy one was cool because I lived through that.
Yeah.
That was Gacy.
You're the gay boy that got away and turned him in, right?
He gave out good candy on Halloween, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
When Gacy came out, my mother said, "This is what I'm going to use to teach my children not to talk to strangers." So she went into graphic detail about how Gacy caught and captured and killed these small children and then buried them in his basement. And we were like 7, 8 years old, you know, and
well, I like how was that one where they talked about he had to have an accomplice because of the shape he was in, he couldn't possibly lug the body.
Well, yeah, because he was hiring these I shouldn't say kids, he's hiring these 19, 20-year-olds to actually dig the holes in the crawl space.
But then people said he wasn't in good enough shape to bring the bodies down there.
Yeah.
Was he what gamer archetype was he again?
He was a fat beard.
Yeah.
Not a grognard?
He was a fat beard because he was likable. He had good charisma until you found out what he did.
He's part of that whole Chicago machine thing. So yeah.
That's true. So that's you're in the phase right now, Mike, where if you happen to become a serial killer, because of the things you're into right now, it wouldn't be a surprise.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Because of this time capsule, here's the shit he's into. You guys just do the math. You know.
The killer is well versed in biology.
Yeah.
I know Spencer was watching a lot of stuff on Shudder too.
Yeah, he and I have talked about some things. So
how much is that?
I got it for like.
It's on special.
It was like $25 a year, $30 a year. It was like less than $5 a month.
Yeah,
it was like $4 a month.
It goes on special a lot. I know.
Yeah.
Do you ever fap to it or not?
No. I did see this one movie called Untamed. It was basically a Spanish hentai movie.
Okay.
And there was this alien that came down and basically fucked the hell out of things, but it was like the squid alien. And they talked about it was always off screen. And they'd show a few tentacles, whatever. And then there was one scene where the woman had this octopus thing writhing all over her. And I was like, okay, I see
Live action, nice.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun cosplay for you one day.
Oh yeah.
I like it. That sounds fun. I think that Mike, you're opening your mind up to a lot of other different cultures out there. And that's that's a really good thing. Anything else?
Nah.
Okay. I just mentioned this the other day. Oh, I got so I like the band Anthrax, not just a clever name. And
the disease?
No, I'm not partial to it. However, you know, it was them. They had it first before it became popular. Just saying.
Weren't they thinking of changing their name when that terrorist guy?
Whole thing with that.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll address that in the conversation.
Okay.
Let's just. I'm going to find a good spot to insert that. That's what she said. This is called Among the Living, their best album, and it's the album came out in 87, but the band has been out for 40 years. They were formed in 81. This is their 40th anniversary. So the great thing about this graphic novel is they've okay, let me just take a step back. Anthrax is a band that when all these heavy metal bands, I'm not talking about like 80s like Motley Crue band, but I mean like the thrash metal, like the heavy metal, the real metal, they're all singing about death and and everything. And Anthrax like, nah, we might have some serious songs, but they're singing about Judge Dredd. Charlie, the drummer and songwriter, drew this. They sing about Judge Dredd. They sing about The Stand. Anything Stephen King, they sing about. They sing about the show Twin Peaks. They sing about things that nerds like, which is why Anthrax, in my opinion, became hugely popular. They never, within that culture, they never took themselves seriously. They're wearing shorts. They're not wearing all black. They said, well, for their 40th anniversary, we're going to do a book. Haven't started reading it yet, but if you look at these, they have a story for each song on the album and a bunch of well-known artists. So this one's written by Jimmy Palmiotti. So you have people that they like doing these. Next one, Brian Posehn wrote it. And I mean, all the artists are known in the industry. There's a story about each of the songs on that album. Here's one here. Let's see here. Some of the guys in the band even wrote some stuff as well. This one's Scott Ian, the guitarist, who writes the lyrics, wrote that one. But they've got Brian Azzarello wrote one too. There's there are names in all of this. So there's they even got the license of Judge Dredd to do one issue for the I Am the Law song, which is about Judge Dredd. So you have all this going on in here, and to coincide with this that just came out, they have a documentary that is every Wednesday, a new episode comes out talking about the history of the band. And so they're at like episode 15 right now, and they're only at 1992. So they've got a long way to go. So if you are into heavy metal and just cool comics, definitely check out the Anthrax Among the Living graphic novel. There are different versions you can buy. There was one, I wanted the deluxe one. It was well over $200 because it came. Their mascot is called the Knot Man. It's this. I think there's some image of them. There was like not a mad ball, but like a mad ball where you put your fingers in it and move it. And they had it back in the day, and I had one a long time ago. So they made a new one of that, and I wish you can buy the. So there is a mad ball, by the way. There is that. You can't buy the mad ball separately though. The mad ball goes with the deluxe set, of course. But then there was the Knot Man version, which is in John Belushi style right there. So it's I'm going to read this weekend. Looking forward to it. But I love the fact that a band that I really enjoy is now coming out with a lot of things that are kind of just like celebrating their own milestones as a band. And also all just the fact that when they were writing songs about nerdy things, that was looked down upon by a lot of heavy metal fans. And now it's like, no, that's fucking great. Like you look back now and you realize how cool they were in the 80s when everyone else was trying to do like a pose and look badass and they didn't care about any of that stuff. And back then it was like they were the joke. And now it's like, no, like actually that's fucking cool. So they were on Married with Children as well. They talked about that one of the episodes. So look that one up. Great episode. It's called My Dinner with Anthrax that Bud and Kelly won a contest on the radio and the band spent the weekend with them. So a lot of cool stuff out there if you are a fan of that band. And regarding the disease, Biran, you brought up. So when Scott Ian and this guy, Dan Lilker, their original bassist, they came up with the term, and it was just a thing nobody knew about back then. All of a sudden, post 9/11, anthrax attacks become a thing. I remember seeing them back then too, and they had these jumpsuits they would wear for their encore, and it said, had 5 guys in the band, it said, one guy had we're, next said not changing our name, and they would wear these, and they were basically going to ride it out. Then Scott Ian gets interviewed and said, we're going to change our names to Happy Puppies or something like that. And it was clearly a joke. Some article picked it up, and then that was like, they're changing their name. Like no, we're
like clickbait before there was clickbait.
Totally clickbait. This was like early 2000s, clickbaits. No, we're not changing our name to whatever it was, Happy Puppies. But yeah, they have persevered and now still as badass as ever. They got their original singer back. Their most recent 2 albums. If you said I liked them back then, but I don't like their later stuff, you haven't listened to their last 2 albums. For All Kings and Worship Music are both fantastic albums. Check it out. And the fact that they've got friends in the industry like Alex Ross doing comic book covers for them is pretty badass.
So they didn't puss out like the Dixie Chicks.
Not at all. They are not just the Chicks. They could have just been the Thrax. They were not. They are still. Now,
JP, what would you have advised the Dixie Chicks as far as search engine optimization ramifications to changing their name to just the Chicks?
Terrible.
Bad idea?
Yeah, bad idea. What's going to come up? It's like the band Live in the 90s.
Like,
you named your band Live before the internet was a thing. Totally get it. Cool band. How do I ever find live music now?
No, it's my favorite. A sissy kind of little fair band that I like called Texas.
Okay. How do you find it? Can't find it. Yeah. Having a cool name transcends everything now because of that Dixie Chicks. Which the weird thing, Dixie Chicks, this is their second go around with Court of Public Opinion.
Yes.
It's
never worked out well for them, really, as far as album sales go.
Well, they in a time when 2003, 2002, George W. Bush trying to get everyone to rally behind the cause, and they're like, nah. They're like, well, your country, you're supposed to, you know.
Well, they did it on foreign soil too. So, and when you're a country western band, you got to know your audience.
Yeah. But were they in the long run though? Would you say Biran they won?
I think a lot of people like George Bush now because
Well,
he's friends with Michelle Obama.
Well, because he paints and he's comical now. That's why.
Well, and he's buddy with Michelle Obama too.
But everybody forgets,
right,
what a terrible president he was.
There's the next Hitler.
We forget that because now he's lovable old guy. That's why.
Right. But I think it did. I think it didn't help their sales and stuff. But I think they also had $1 trillion in the bank, so who cares?
Yeah, exactly. So the Chicks lost their name battle. Anthrax has not, and they are stronger than ever. So definitely check it out if you're a fan of any of the stuff I mentioned. Yeah, pretty cool. I like
because Rush had that a little bit because they had Lord of the Rings songs.
Yeah, Led Zeppelin.
No, their stuff was more Ayn Rand, wasn't it?
Rush, no, they had a song that has Elrond listed in it.
So Rush had some interesting topics, but on a more mainstream note, Led Zeppelin, their song "Ramble On" literally talks about Mordor and Gollum.
Both are total D&D rock bands.
Totally.
But people don't usually put it like I didn't. I've heard Anthrax, but I don't think I ever listened to the lyrics. I've listened to it, but not listened. I didn't know they were into all that nerd stuff. I just listened to it.
I'll get you a playlist if you want to check out. But they, it's pretty cool. Like especially if you like Stephen King, because there are so many songs about those books from.
I like the lore of Stephen King, but not the actual books he's written.
Obviously with movies, you could be a Stephen King fan without even reading any books too. But from Misery to The Stand, they cover a lot.
Did they do a Shawshank song?
I don't.
That'd be a nice way to mix it up a little bit.
I don't think so, but I actually might be wrong. I don't. They might have. I don't recall one, but it's pretty wild. Like how many just topics that people like us enjoy. That they were always they were never like a drug band. They don't. No one.
You still got the thing though, right?
Oh yeah, that's the staple. Charlie's still a phenomenal drummer. Lives in Long Grove, Illinois, by the way, Biran.
Beautiful town.
Yeah.
Historic Long Grove.
Historic Long. That bridge
that keeps on chopping up truck to try to go in it.
That's the bridge. That's like if you have a truck that's big, you might die, right?
Yeah, it's constantly being wrecked because trucks just try to go through it. It's always U-Hauls because they're not used to it.
Like a can opener,
yeah.
So so Anthrax, great band, and they're just still kicking ass with things, and so very cool.
Maiden actually has a comic line currently out. I saw.
So I was about to say, the company Z2 Comics is putting out comics about more like one-off trades, the graphic novel, whatever, for all these bands. So yeah, you're going to see more and more of that. Which back in the day, I remember Chaos Comics doing a thing with Megadeth, where I think they put a single with it. Insane Clown Posse started doing it. Like in the 90s, all these bands, but it's kind of making a comeback. Bands are now doing comics now, which is pretty cool.
Well, some bands just lend themselves to it. Obviously, Eddie and Iron
Maiden. Yeah. So all the heavy metal bands that all have mascots. Yeah. Eddie, Iron Maiden, Megadeth has Vic Rattlehead. Anthrax has become the Knot Man is their guy.
Who would Scorpions be? Fork and Eyes guy? Scorpions?
Scorpions.
Does he have a name?
Their singer Klaus Meine is their own mascot, I guess. Yeah. Short fellow, and he's got a mascot named Klaus Meine. So if a band has a mascot, you're already going to lend yourself.
If it's Queensryche, is their mascot a comic book store guy? Because it's always playing in comic book stores.
Could be. I think the Queensryche mascot would be just like angry singers and angry guitarists mad at each other because they keep fighting over the rights. Their singer Jeff Tate left years ago, and then he formed his own Queensryche, and the band's still going to be Queensryche. And I remember, true story, there was a time in the greater Chicagoland area where both versions of Queensryche had shows on the same night in different shitty bars in the suburbs.
They should do it at places that have the exact same number of seats, and then they could tell who sold out.
Who wins? Yeah. Well, it was one's going to be like northern, southern, one's south. And well, we're Queensryche. We have the rights. We wrote the songs. Yeah, but I'm the voice. So I'm going to be Jeff Tate's Queensryche down at Mojo's in Joliet.
I bet you the singer is the one that wins.
Always.
No one cares about the guitarist.
Singer always wins because you can always get a musician to fill in.
Yep.
Singer always wins. That's band lesson. When the
Chances
singer,
are a studio musician is a better musician than you had before. Anyway.
yeah, it's true. So anyway, that's my take on that. So let us know in the comments what some nerdy things you've been into lately, whether it's movies, TV shows, comics, games, toys, whatever.
Porn.
And we'll talk it up. And until next time, that's it, right? We say bye now.
Zlurpcast! Brought to you by Nuffles. Bet you can't just roll a one.